All right. Well, it is 4 o'clock on the dot, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Amanda Hunt, and I have my co-host Megan Ford here with us. And we are going to be talking about Beyond the Shelves, a novel approach to book talks and literacy in school libraries. Please make sure, as a participant, that your audio and video are turned off and that we're not playing with them during the presentation, as it would probably interrupt Megan and myself. If you would like to start the chat by letting us know where you're from, what you do, please feel free to do that. We want to make sure you're also tweeting using the hashtag library20 and hashtag school libraries and AI. So we have started the recording, so hopefully that's okay with everyone. And we're going to also today, we want to make sure that you know that we are sponsored by the Future of AI. So thank you so much for sponsoring this amazing conference. So here is our title slide, and we will also share out the link to this presentation after it's over somehow. So thank you. Ooh, lots of librarians in the chat, and I love to see it. So you are in the right place. And I apologize if our PA system goes off because we are finishing school right now. But my name is Amanda Hunt. I also go by the Next Gen Librarian on social media. My website is thenextgenlibrarian.com. I am a middle school 6 through 8 school librarian and secondary lead librarian of my district in New Braunfels, Texas, which is kind of between San Antonio and Austin. It's like 111 degrees here today. So we are trying our best to do back to school in this heat, but I got out of bus duty because I had to come and I do this presentation today. So I'm so excited to be here with you all.
Hey everyone, I am Megan Ford. I'm actually coming at you today from the Atlanta Adobe office, which is pretty exciting. I am a high school librarian just north of Atlanta in Johns Creek. So I braved the traffic today. Yay! If you're from the Atlanta area, you know what I'm talking about. It's a hot mess, y'all. Um, and I am at Miss Ford Fierce on all social medias. Is social media is a thing? Is that like, can you have a plural?
Like a
I don't know.
plural? Yeah. I say it
Yeah,
too.
on
So
all the social channels. And I am seedsofimagination.com.
I
I'm so
love that. And
excited to be
that's
with all these librarians.
me too. This is our love. We love this. Megan, you want to tell us about this amazing quote you have?
Thanks. So I was just kind of thinking about like what is AI and what is so special about generative AI? Because that's really what we're going to talk about is how can we take generative AI and transform that on the page. And I love AI because we can imagine things, we can envision it in our heads, and it just takes like this creative vision that we think about and it transforms it on the page so that we can see it before our own eyes. And I love that.
Me too. It's definitely a new world out here, y'all. So why use Gen AI? I think is something that we can explore and talk a little bit about more. I think it reduces the fear of failure. Sounding like how Megan said, I am not an artist in any way, shape, or form when it comes to like the traditional, like I can't draw, I can't paint, I can't charcoal, like any of that stuff. And so anything to do with artistic skills would immediately have my backup if I were in school like this, right? And I'd be like, you want me to draw something? Absolutely not. You want me to create something? That is not me. So I think about myself as a teen and tween and going through all of this AI stuff and how much this would have helped me with so many different projects that I would have done that I automatically had like my backup to, right? And then
I
Megan, yeah, tell me.
No, I was just going to say, I love what you said so much, just because I think there's so many people out there, and I'm the same way, that say, like, I'm not artistic. But that
Right.
doesn't mean you are artistic. Like, you can be creative without having, like, the ability to draw. And I
Absolutely.
love AI for that.
Me too. And you know, it's just like having to change your way of thinking of what we can do with our students in ways that we never would have been able to do before. That's what gets me excited about generative AI because it allows you to kind of throw that fear to the side and then play and not have to worry about what their creation is going to look like because they're using a different skill set with this than they would with like a pencil and paper, right? And it definitely increases student engagement. I every time I do a lesson with Gen AI, their minds are blown because they don't see it this way when they're playing around with AI on their own. And that's what I love about using Adobe in particular, because it definitely has so many options of images that it can put in, whatever you can dream up, basically, it's able to create. And I love that so much for our students. They get so excited about it. Do you see that at your high school, Megan?
Oh, yeah. I think one of my very first experiences with using Adobe's Gen AI was in a classroom full of ninth graders. And I looked around and they were all on task, y'all. I was like, what is happening here? I'm going to use this for the rest of my life. And I think you touched on so many important topics. Something else I really love about Adobe Express, as librarians, we talk about digital responsibility, digital citizenship, and a lot of generative AI is taking artwork from other people and then generating based upon that. And one of the things I love about Adobe is it's generated from Adobe stock images. So we're not plagiarizing work. It's safe for K through 12. And so we're using and modeling that digital responsibility. And in high school, my kids get sick of me like preaching to them about this, but it's such a good way to integrate it and tell them like, hey, we're protecting artists' work by using Adobe Express versus something like Midjourney or Copilot, where you don't know where that work is coming from. And I think that's such an important conversation to have with your students.
Especially as librarians, right? We're always talking about digital citizenship and having to make sure we give credit for anything that we use. And you're right, Megan. Like I felt uncomfortable. And it was a conversation that was very big at the start of AI. And it was talking about what is our due diligence here? Where's the ethics behind all of this? And so I love that it just generates from stock images that Adobe owns. And so if you tried to type in like Oprah Winfrey image for your creation, it's going to say no images found because they don't own the rights to a like famous figure like that, right? So you would have to kind of find a workaround to that for what they do have. So if you haven't logged in yet or used Adobe Express, we have the QR code up on the screen, and you do not have to like follow along with us. We will walk you through a little bit of what we're going to be doing today. But I just wanted to make sure everyone had it if you did want to participate.
And I just want to say, like, this is just a quick overview of what's possible. Um, so don't freak out if you like, for me, I have to get into something and play. So feel free to play around, try different things. This is your opportunity just to kind of see what happens.
Yeah, and like you can't break it.
No,
So
you
that's like one of
cannot.
we have played so much for so long and in Adobe Express, and honestly like you're not going to ruin anything. You're not you can always start over. Lots of different ways to make mistakes in a safe way. So we have also generated some Mad Libs, and we'll get into what that looks like in a second. But we wanted you to have, the bit.ly or the QR code to go ahead and access these now if you wanted to. And then you can also share your creation if you have the time and are able to participate with us today with the activity that we are about to show you. So I'm giving that a second if you guys want to scan. Or just scan and have it for later. Because when I'm watching presentations and doing professional development, I like to kind of focus on what they're doing, and then I go back and play later. So if that's you, feel free to just grab these for later.
That's so funny because I'm the person that's like, I want to play with this now. And then I lose bits of the conversation in the presentation because I just like get into the app. That's funny. Uh, this is also, so this Mad Lib is really, really fun to use with your students. And you could do it with like a book your kids are reading or a popular book. We've done this with like Percy Jackson, and it's really fun to see what the kids generate.
Yeah. And I'm going to show you in a second. So, before we jump into the Mad Libs activity, Megan, you want to talk about how you use Gen AI in your makerspace?
Yes. So again, I'm in high school but I love this because I feel like it just, it would work probably 3 through 12. You'd really get some success with this. So we did planet slogan buttons with this, and all of this is done using generative AI. So the kids described the planet and then they had to create a tourist destination on that planet and then come up with a slogan. So we did that. Yeah, I know. It was really fun. We did that. And then we pulled out our button maker. We are going to do this also with the alter ego as a get to know you activity. I have that slide, I think a couple slides from here. And then the kids can wear the button with their name on it as a way for me to get to know the kids, which is a really fun way to use it in your makerspace or incorporate it in a collaboration.
I love that so much. And I work with our gifted and talented students on my campus, and they do a marketing project in the middle of the year around the holidays. And they actually have to create a product. They have to make this product to sell at our local farmers market. And so I really think that this would be so much fun to do and have them like sell buttons. So I'm definitely sharing this with that team because there's just so many things you could do with this that kids could potentially take and use in a class, or you could do it in more of a fun, low stress activity like a makerspace.
100%.
And then we have creativity and design workshops. Go for it, Megan.
Yeah, so we've also used this with our art teachers. In this particular case, we used it for our school musical. You could use this in so many different ways where we went in and the kids had to describe what was in Mamma Mia and describe a scene from Mamma Mia. And then they used that for the set design. So what they generated, yeah, we did a whole creativity and design workshop on how generative AI can influence our set design and help us reimagine spaces. But you could also do that in a social studies class with like a primary document where you're describing the setting and the kids get to see it on the page. So this was a really cool opportunity for the students to really bring a creation to life.
That is amazing. I just absolutely love that idea. And that's a way because I feel very librarian RLA reading like minded. So I'm always thinking, how can I put this in my classes with them? But if you are not collaborating with other content areas or electives, like you're missing out because this is such a fun idea that I want to do with my theater department now. So
Do
definitely
it.
one. Yes, I'm like already thinking like, what can we do? My math team collaborates with me on a project-based learning activity where they design a theme park and they have to have certain shapes in
Oh
their theme park. I could
my
totally have them use
gosh,
it. Yeah, that would be so fun to have them
that would be
generate the
so
setting
cool.
of their, yeah, that I would love that. Sorry, we're geeking out on all the ideas.
I know.
I
I'm
hope
like,
they,
oh my gosh. Yeah, and
yes,
it's interesting because I feel like elementary and middle school, you guys get the opportunity to work in classes so often. And so mine is so much different because I'm working with so many different subject areas that it just is like I have to come up with really engaging lessons for high school. And these are
right.
ways I get my teachers to collaborate with me. I'll be like, please let me teach your classes. Please, please. It'll be fun. Another way to collaborate, and I think Amanda will agree with me, is the Adobe monthly challenges are fantastic. Yes, I
Yes.
love them. And so this was the alter ego I was talking about. If you guys know Martha Bongiorno, she did a cool lesson with this where her kids designed their alter ego and then they turned that alter ego into poetry for Poetry Month.
Oh my gosh, I
Um,
love it.
right?
Yes,
And this is
I
what
did this in April too because of Martha's lesson plan. So it was so much fun. Like the kids were here for it. Let me just tell you. And middle school, they're down. Anything alter ego that they can talk about themselves and what they love and or is going to be a great lesson.
right. And we talk about maker spaces, and I just immediately think of like cosplay. How cool would this be to design your alter ego and then have the students, pull out the cardboard and have them generate their cosplay dream of their alter ego.
Oh my gosh. So I do a Comic-Con in my district and I'm totally
Yes.
doing that. I am totally, because we have a cosplay contest. And so I'm totally doing that with my kids. That is such a great idea. So this is an extension, I think, Megan, right? That we added in if you
Yes.
wanted to do, okay.
Yes.
So
And
this
this is,
is, yeah, go.
go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just another way. If you wanted another idea of how you can use Gen AI, you can generate a book talk this way. And it's so great the information that the kids can put in about the book that they're reading to be able to advertise that book, right? Are there other ways we can use it, Megan?
Yeah, I use this as a way to have students not only do book reviews, but this is a great way to take with your literature teachers. Um, or if the kids are studying a particular book, this is a really cool way to kind of AI proof that assessment when we talk about chat GPT and things like this. This is a really interesting way to have the kids kind of reflect upon what they learned. And now that animate from audio, you can add things in to your book talk so you can have the kids do reviews and all kinds of crazy fun things with this. So
Yeah,
take it,
I'm
start
actually,
with the base
yes.
and build out.
Exactly, because I have done this one before, and I ended up using it with my social studies team last year for like a historical figure. And so they love doing things like that and having the kids really learn about the person. So like Alexander Hamilton, and so like people like that in our eighth grade social studies, they study so many different figures from that time period. So lots of fun that we can have there. So we are going to hop on over. So if you were able to click on the or scan the Mad Lib, okay, this is what I'm going to open. It's going to open in Adobe Express. And so if you are on a desktop, this is going to be what you should see. And it's going to be it's going to force you to make a copy, right? Like this is a template link, which I love about Adobe is that you can now edit it however you like and it is yours, right? So Megan, you want to talk a little bit about your text to image here that we did? So make sure you've clicked on this background and then over here on the side, the text to image is going to pop up. If you click on that, Megan, you want to talk a little bit about what you put in here?
Yeah, so I use Percy Jackson. I just feel like it's such like a book that our students love. We as adults love it. It's easily recognizable. So I just described Camp Half-Blood, and this is the image it generated. You'll notice it's even like got kids training on the beach. I love that it made it an island. I'm here for this. I want to go to Camp Half-Blood that looks like this. But
It
this is
looks
where
like
you
it's
could
in
use,
Greece.
right?
Yeah,
Uh,
love it.
you could use this with those Mad Libs, and then you could fill in the Mad Lib. You could have kids generate scenes from books here. There's so many different things. So you want to delete it and
Yeah.
then maybe like
Yeah.
use another book and show what it
So
does.
yes. So in this other tab, there was like get Mad Libs. Here is the it's tiny.cc/Gen AI Mad Lib. Because Megan gave the fantasy and the sci-fi options, and then I went in and added some romance and horror because those are also like genres that I love. So it just kind of
Yes.
it just kind of gave some ideas for where kids can start. So I'm going to copy this example from Megan's sci-fi choices. You could do it as a title. If the kids want to rename the book, you could change character or like have them describe a character or the setting. And so that's kind of what I want to do is delete this for this image. And I'm going to copy and paste. This is what I want to replace it with, right? So I'm going to take this text out because I just really want to see the image. And so we're going to do that and then make sure that you hit generate. Now it is going to take a second because it is trying to create, pulling from all of these graphics within Adobe to create the image that you're looking for, right? So sometimes it takes a second, but So this is my pretty little spaceship. So I did a holographic spaceship with red and orange rockets and planets in the background. Now, if this is not exactly what I was looking for, you can come over here and you can choose other options, right? You could even over here where it says content type, you can change it to the auto of what that looks like. You can change it to photo, graphic. You can continue to hit generate more and it'll give you other options. So if
I am
I
reading this book, by the way.
isn't it pretty? When I was like playing around with it, I was like, oh my gosh, like think of what the kids could do if they write their own book or they make their own graphic novel. They could make their own book
It.
covers, using Gen AI, right? So this is the like auto version, and it looks very similar to I think it was on art. So if I tried photo and I try to generate that, let's see if there's a whole lot of difference in the next one. Some of them come out more cutesy. Some of them come out a little bit more, more like stark and have very strong lines. So I think it kind of depends on what your
Ooh.
vibe is. And this one has like definite like feeling like a little more dystopian feel to it, or like it has a little more
I was
action
gonna
in
say
it.
this one, that one feels like almost like a modern retelling of something. I don't know.
Right. Yes.
How cool would
So
this be for national novel writing?
oh my gosh, NaNoWriMo, if you do not have kids that like know about
Uh,
it, it's definitely so much fun to do for that too. If you're in have teach a creating writing class or you have creative writing in your school, that is awesome, by the way. I wish I could teach that. But it's definitely something you can use for lots of different ways. I've worked with my emerging bilingual students before, and they have created books talking about their home, like Venezuela, Central, like, because we're in Texas, we have a lot of students from Central and Latin America that have come here. And so they still want to feel connected to their home country or where they have family. And so we had to make a book. I would now have them generate their own cover for wherever it is that they are, like what
ooh.
is in their minds, right? So it takes like this idea, it takes like your memories, it takes something that you already have in your vision of what you want, and you're able to kind of put it on paper very quickly and very easily.
I love that. We have like maybe 3 more minutes before
Yeah.
questions. Can you show us how to do the text with using AI? So like the
Yes. Like
if
the
you go to
text
the
to image
not text to image, but if you go to like your text button,
and
yep, and then do
add your
add a
text.
text, yep,
Yes.
and then do
Down here,
text
text
effect,
effects.
yep,
I love
yep,
text effect, right? So I love to use like the balloon one. I don't know why. It just speaks to me. It's my
because
vibe.
it's
So,
adorable.
so if I wanted to call this, I don't know, outer space. And then like whatever you call it, you can change like like how tight it is, like you can change the look of it, you can change the size, you can change all of those things. If I didn't like that for this, I could change it to gem stickers. Lots of different options here. But I love the text
Text
options.
effect is so fun.
It's so fun. And so like if you're like so like Megan's really into like crafting and like plants
Yes.
and stuff, and there is just the coolest one. I'd have to find it that has like greenery as the words, right? And then
Hmm.
I'm wearing my disco ball earrings today because I have like
So
a
fun.
Taylor Swift inspired shirt on. So like I would want to do, if I was doing my Taylor bracelet making and I wanted to make a flyer for that, I would probably use the disco ball words, right? So just lots of cool options that if you just get in and play around, um, you can definitely have lots of options here. Which link is not working? So the link to the Adobe Express does not seem to be working. Could you drop the template link? Oh, thank you, Megan. She already
You're
answered it. She's on
welcome.
top of it. She's on top of things. So yeah, do we have
Oh,
like
I was just
any?
trying my yeah, questions. You can ask in the chat. Introverts unite, but not in person. That's my new favorite quote. Um, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to, yeah, it's bad. But does anybody have any questions? I know that was like a really quick overview of what
Yes.
can do with this, but it's so fun to use with kids.
Yes, and they love it and they're so excited. And a lot of them, this is the first time they're seeing it. For us, we've probably been using AI a little bit, the last year or so. But for them,
Yep.
this is like brand new. So it's like if you want to blow their minds, definitely in middle school.
Great.
I mean, in high school, they might be like, yeah, that was cool,
Oh
I
no.
guess. But that's like a
High
glowing
school,
thing. I don't know.
it still blows their minds in high school. And I'm like, I always say I'm like the funny aunt. I get to come in and do stuff like this. And then they're like, what?
Yeah, so definitely give this a try. What's the difference between Canva and Adobe? Oh, you asked the right people
So
for this
much.
question.
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
you want to talk about the image issue, the copyright and ethical side of it, Megan, kind of how you brought up earlier?
yeah. So Adobe is the only one, and this kind of answers the one before that. It is 100% free for students and teachers right now, and they've just added classrooms so you can have your full class in it and do assignments. The age agreement is for K through 12. It is currently the only K through 12 approved. Yeah,
Only one.
generative AI, only one. So if you are using Canva with your babies, technically it's not approved. I will not judge you, but
We
it's
got to do
not.
what we got to do. It's rough out here.
Right, it's rough
Yeah,
out here, y'all. It's rough. I will say the difference for me, and maybe Amanda, you can hop on this. I say that I
yeah,
like Canva if I want something very quick.
yeah.
But when I
I
really want to
think,
get creative and I want my
yep,
kids to think a lot deeper, that's when I'm using Adobe Express because it just is
yep.
so much more creative, so many more options, and you can really see the kids' thinking process with it.
So I am a one-to-one district for iPads. We have been for about 13 years. And yes, there is an app for the iPad. It rolled out like a week ago, right, Megan? I don't know
Yes,
if you saw. It was like a week ago that they
yes.
rolled it out. They had used it before, but it had some glitches. I was in like the test area to check all that stuff. And it's working so great now. So hopefully if you tell your tech in your district to get it downloaded or added to the to whatever, if you use ClassLink or something like that, we're so excited to use it.
Jody, you asked, is there a community where people are sharing these ideas regularly? So I would say yes, there is a Facebook group. I'm going to be honest, I don't use Facebook.
Same.
Um, but I said to email me. There is a hashtag that a lot of the Adobe educators use, which is Adobe Creative EDU. I'll type that in the chat as well. Jody, if you email me and you want the um, community Facebook page, I will be happy to share the link with you.
So we do single sign-on with ours. So for Adobe
Yeah,
Express,
we
when
do
they
too.
put that and then it goes right in. So either if you're a Google district, it'll automatically sign in. If you use it with ClassLink, the kids don't even have to do anything. They click on it in the app and
Yeah,
it automatically does it.
yep. The same as
Yeah,
us.
we don't. Yeah.
No, there's no personal information at all used. My students, we're Microsoft and it works just the same. It's single sign on with their Outlook email, or we use ClassLink and they just go straight through and it's no big deal. It's one click and so easy.
Right. So any other questions? Y'all have been so great. Oh my gosh.
I
Um,
know.
I know, like it's such a we love hanging out with librarians. It's like it's like my jam.
Librarians are the best. Let's be honest.
Yeah, so I don't know how if they're going to be I mean they are this is being recorded, so it will be shared out. We will send the link to the presentation, but then all of our QR codes are embedded in the presentation when it gets shared out the recording. You should be able to access it if you missed anything. But thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you, Megan, for hopping
Yes.
on in the
Oh,
Adobe
thanks for
Studios.
co-presenting with me. I really appreciate it. No, it's cool. I'm
Oh no.
excited. I feel
Yay.
extra professional because I feel like when I'm at school, I'm like, meh, and now I'm like, ooh, I'm a working adult.
Yeah. Yes. So I hope everyone has a great rest of their conference. And thank you so much to all of the sponsors for this event. And I can't wait to see what everybody
Yes.
use. I'm going to go search the hashtag pretty quick on places that use hashtags. I'm not going to say which ones if you are not on some of those socials. But yeah. So Miss Ford Pierce and the Next Gen Librarian, and we are signing off. I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye, y'all. Thank you so much.